Shaji Prabhakaran, Secretary General, All India Football Federation. Welcome, sir. So much. Thank you so much for having joined us, despite the excruciating schedules and also the challenges that face you, that we face you professionally over the last couple of months, especially ever since the issues of the administration with respect to the Football Federation. But those, absolutely, we will be not delving too much into those issues because those are issues which will not serve the country in terms of our show today. What we would like to listen and take this opportunity to learn from you and share with the entire world the future of Indian football. Let's Football is the topic. That means we are looking at an opportunity to discuss with Shaji Prabhakaran the way the Indian football can progress, the ups and downs over the last 77 years, 76 years of Indian football, right from the days when India, even, post-independence, the first friendly that India played, not the friendly, first professional match India played was with France, post-independence, and it was a 2-1 score line in favor of France. Had it been played today, probably it would have been 21-0, considering the kind of results that we are getting out of the football, Indian football over the last year or so, especially excruciating results, very painful results for a country with 140 crore people being proclaimed as the third largest economy very soon and probably one of the fastest growing economies as being held by the Prime Minister and the global diaspora. India being 102nd, 100 plus rank in the global sport is a worrisome indicator of India's football future or India's sporting future. Shaji Prabhakaran, I can go on, but as we move along, we've got 20 minutes with you, fortunately, today. We'll discuss various nitty-gritties and interject as we move along. What are your suggestions? We will straight away start with, what do you think is the reason for India being 100 plus in football, which is a global sport, to put it very, mildly or in a moderate way, it's a shame. Shaji Prabhakaran, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Amit, for having me in your show today. It's my pleasure to be discussing Indian football with you. You have a very valid question because a country like India is progressing very fast in every aspect and also in sports. But in football, we are lagging behind, and our ranking demonstrates that. We have to really, improve every aspect of football. And the reason why we are here today, because it's multiple reasons. Because football is very competitive sport. More than 210 countries are part of FIFA, and it's played globally every part of the world, and every country is putting their best to improve every aspect of football on a daily basis, and we can't remain static because we are the number one populated country in the world. We are gaining economically stronger, and we can get the resources to put in football as what we can see in cricket and other sports. The reasons are that we haven't done the right kind of development work, what we should have done for last 20, 30 years. Yeah? And what we are today, it is because we didn't do the right kind of development work, right kind of initiatives, and we also haven't collaborated that much as with all the stakeholders. We need to work as one. We need to have a shared goal, a common vision, and we also need to take the best of support of all the stakeholders in Indian football because many of India's population, the majority of them, wants to see Indian football rise, and the number of fans follow football in India is only rising, and the participation in football is also rising. But at the same time, we are not able to exhibit that kind of performances at the global level, which is a serious thing to ponder on. And the leadership and the people who are responsible for football in India will have to take this as seriously and bring about a change in terms of how we take actions which are visible, which should not be words. Yeah? We need to showcase what are the actions we are taking in terms of developing players of that level, in terms of developing our football to that level, so that we can compete at the top level to begin with in Asia.
Shaji, these are all, we understand these remarks that you are making are quite hackneyed in terms of the meritocracy of the substance of these remarks is concerned, because this is quite common over the last 75 years from a 2-1 score line with France, then having ranked fourth in the Summer Olympics of 1956, if I remember, probably out of the 11 teams, India was ranked fourth. And then we also qualified for the World Cup once in 1950, which we backed out. From those days to, having reached where we reached in terms of not only rankings, I mean, what has been the major reason that despite, if you talk about the professional aspect, I do understand professionally, things have not been managed, blah, blah, so we can go on. But then there were professional organizations like Tata's who ventured into it. Tata Football Academy was also instituted, but even that is nowhere to be seen now. So what really plagues Indian football that even a Tata is not able to produce what it should have delivered like?
No, absolutely. The Tata's contribution to football is humongous. They started in 80s, and the level of players they produced, they ended up representing the country. But yeah, as you said rightly, they also could not, make such an impact. But in isolation, nobody can make an impact. It is the structure, it is the system, it is the strategy, and right working together for 10 to 15 years on a project to make India succeed. Otherwise, it
But
cannot
why could
happen.
not they produce world-class footballers? They could have associated with so many international clubs. None of their players really went and made a mark in the international club arena or circuits. So what is it? Is it about Indians? Are we not? But then if that would have been the case, how come we were doing so well 70 years back when the Gostopals and all were donning the Indian jersey? The
No, it's not about. I mean, it's not about Indians. It's about system. It's about structure. It is about our competitive environment. Unfortunately, our competitive environment from the grassroots to the youth to the elite to the professional level still haven't reached to that level where our players are getting the right kind of competitive environment to grow and compete amongst the best. And that's the reality. Even it's not. That's why I'm saying in isolation, you can put all the money, you can put all the resources, you can bring the best people, but it cannot work because it cannot. You cannot produce that level of players unless we have the right system, right structure, and the right competitive environment for the players to grow, and that is the missing link.
See, Dhoni came out of Jharkhand and from nowhere. I mean, and the CAB was ruling all the way. Similarly, the Bengal clubs of East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, the oldest possible clubs. We have the oldest tournament in the world, Durand Cup. After all that history behind us, why couldn't we produce somebody like a Dhoni in football?
See, that's a very good question. Yes, we have a very, very, what is say, strong history, and we our golden period was 50s and 60s, where we dominated Asia, no doubt. But then, we didn't uh, try to bring in required changes and required level of initiatives to bring about the change so that we can compete on a daily basis. That is where
You have been a global, you've got a global exposure to football. Unlike any of your federation colleagues, as far as I know, in the contemporary times, your experience is probably the most apt one from a global perspective. What we need is a global experience. Somebody like a Kalyan Chaube, I'm not sure how much global experience he carries with him from a football perspective. Probably from a sporting perspective, Baichung Bhutia, Sunil Chetri, I'm Vijayan. These are the chaps, like PT Usha has been brought in the Olympic Association to head the athletics and they head the Olympic Association. I'm sure the government will be looking into bringing the right professionals into football also, because so many right things Mr. Modi has been driving. And Anurag Thakur, being the sports minister, will also be echoing the sentiments of the prime minister by trying and turn around the football, scenario very soon. But then, since you have a global exposure, let me also ask you what this football and hockey, they have almost had the same trajectory, wherein the being the founder leader of hockey, we landed up being in out of Olympics almost. We've never been close to winning the Olympics. We've been thrashed by Australia, Germany, Holland, all over. Even now Belgium keeps hammering us as and when they want. Now the issue is, yes, they won the bronze in the last Olympics because there have been some important changes, like the turf, technically, getting good people. What are the things which are responsible for making football slide so much? And what are the right things that these countries have done, like they've done in hockey, to edge past India? Similarly, in football, what are the right things that these countries did, which we did not, and probably which we can?
See, you rightly mentioned about the government, our honorable Prime Minister, and Anurag Thakur ji, for what they are doing to promote and develop sports in India, and and that is where I am really encouraged and enthusiastic, and believe that we can do the similar thing in football with the right approach, and with the blessings of the prime minister and the sports minister, because when they can be part of this, believe in football potential of India, we can definitely do wonders, because we have everything. What we need is the right strategy, right approach, and the right people at the right place. Yeah, and we have everything.
What about
What
money?
the money, see, the money is again, if you have the right intention, if you have the right program, we have the money in the market. Only thing is, we need to create trust, transparency in the system, so that people believe in football, because football has a huge future, and football has a huge potential. And this can be the biggest what do you say, soft power for India, uh, because football can connect to every part of the world, and that's the potential we need to see that. And it is a mass sport, and it is followed by many and or majority of the youths in India. So therefore, what I would like to see is that a greater collaboration taking place between the government and the stakeholders in football, and sitting together and devising the right strategy and a plan, and getting the corporate support to bring about a
Getting
change.
foreign players come and play in the Indian Super League could be one way in which probably the standards of football could be up. But then with Reliance also driving the entire show, we don't really see players of international quality who are still, in the primes, who come to India. We hardly know of any name. Why is it so?
See, I think what Reliance has done, I think we can only compliment them, because see, there is not many corporates willing to fund football, but they have supporting it, and they are they are trying to see what they can do, because they are a private entity. It is the football federation and the stakeholders have to see that what is the right approach, because they tried to bring the best of the players as well. Those retired players or semi-retired players, big names to football in India. with big investment.
It's
But
it's
what is
quite a
important is,
it's quite an old league now. It's been there in existence for some time, but we don't really see any of these things really picking up, unlike the IPL. So, are we missing a Lalit Modi? Are you saying that?
no, see, it is not about Lalit Modi. See, football at the end, we cannot compare with IPL of cricket. This IPL of cricket is like a World Cup, yeah, because the best players are there, best atmosphere is there, best investment is there. It is a globally recognized the number four sporting property in the world, yeah. Therefore, ISL, we need to keep evolving. And what he has, see, we need to ask the players who are part of Indian team and Indian players. They can tell very clearly that they got benefited out of ISL. But what we have to do is we have to keep evolving. We have to see that how best we can package the ISL and how we can grow the league in a way it becomes competitive and our national team can benefit. And that is where the discussion should happen. And there are ways by which our league can also grow, but then to compare with IPL, it is not fair because it is apple and oranges, yeah. And that's not fair,
I
but
do understand. I do
definitely.
understand. I do understand that you would not be getting any international player of football for the same contracts which are shelled out to the cricketers from the international arena. Let's aside the kind of players that we have. Probably that is it's all about economics. But then now going back, what went wrong in Asia Cup, Asian Games last year? As a debacle, it's a complete failure. India could not win a single match. I mean, we were not that bad. We're doing pretty well in the last 3, 4 years.
See, the Asian Cup definitely we didn't had that level of performance. Our group was very strong. Australia, Uzbekistan, Syria, they were higher ranked sides compared to us. But then what we have to understand is that our league has to become competitive. If we have to compete against these teams, we have to really step up. If we don't improve our competitiveness, the league's competitiveness, and we doesn't provide that level of preparatory period for our players. Our players will be struggling against those teams because they are competitive, they are raising their bar, and they are improving. And that is what we can see. See, yesterday we saw the game against Qatar, Iran, and before Jordan against South Korea. Jordan dominated the game, and nobody knew that 87th ranked country in the world playing the Asian Cup final against host Qatar. Nobody predicted this, but that is where Jordan inspires everyone, and this can be inspiring for India as well. If Jordan can do it, why not India? But it is we need to focus at the right place, yeah, with the right approach and the right strategy
You have
and
a
with the
global
right
exposure,
team.
Shaji. Raji, you have a global exposure. What do you think? We can keep criticizing our systems, but you see countries like Australia who are sporting superpowers. They outshine most countries in Olympics. Produced the world's most successful Olympian ever, Michael Phelps. Then we have a country which probably rules the entire world today with its might across sectors, that is China. Australia and China have not been able to perform anywhere near their country's own potential. So, I mean, can we really blame only the systems and administration? What is it that makes these Europeans perform so brilliantly? These Middle East countries now, there are some spurts of brilliance from Africans. Even the Americans, they have not been able to do justice to football. I mean, what is wrong? I mean, what do you need to be a football superpower? Money, good players, the systems, the turf, the stadiums. What do you need?
See, like when we compare about what we need to do to reach there. See, we need to strengthen our grassroots. We need to inspire our grassroots. We need to invest in grassroots. We need to invest in our coaches. We need to invest in facilities. We need to invest in our clubs. We need to invest in our leagues. We need to invest in our clubs and have build the right capacity in our system. Yeah, and that is needs a visionary approach. Yeah, and it cannot happen in day or 2 days or few months. Yeah, it is a continuous process which we need to plan it and implement it in a way where it is like a machine. Yeah, and if we are going to do, because our focus has to be in football. Yeah, and that has to be from the top to the bottom. And there is huge gap in terms of, say, when we compare with Middle East with us. There's a huge gap. They employ the best of the people in every aspect to deliver, implement programs, projects, train young players. We don't have that level of expertise, competency right now, but we need to develop that. We have the people who have the skill set, who have the capacity, but we need to empower them. We need to really handhold them, encourage them, motivate them, bring together, and work as one. And as long as that doesn't happen, we will be keep getting those kind of results where people will criticize football in India a lot.
Few steps for 2026.
I think, see, the 26 World Cup qualification, we got a great result against Kuwait, and now what we need to see is we need to win against Afghanistan, and also in the home game against Kuwait in June, we should win, and then we will be creating history for the first time that we will qualify for the third round of the World Cup qualification. I'm quite confident that India can do it, and we need to really motivate, encourage our players and give them a bit of training time with the coach so that they go all out and get good results, because we need to win all three games which is there. Yeah, Qatar is the strongest team, and they will be the top team, and we will be the second team in our group, and that's enough for us to qualify for the third round.
And after that?
After that, we will be in a very, very highly competitive group. We will encounter the top 10 in Asia, and that would be an experience we need to gain. I need to see, how best we can perform against those top teams. Maybe Iran, maybe Japan, maybe Korea. Maybe other best of the countries there, Saudis, Qatar, all will be there. So we don't know which team we will encounter in the third group, in the third round. But then, that experience will take us to the next level of football, I'm sure. But we have to understand that we have to take one step at a time. Yeah, we have the potential. We have to believe. We have to trust, and we have to provide best of support to the players and those who are working with the national team, and that is where the key is.
Why are we not able to produce great footballers from all different parts of the country? Bengal has been doing ruling over football in India so almost 1.5 centuries, and then we have got Kerala and Goa picking up now. Now, what do you think needs to be done in other places for good players to come up? Like big states, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan. I mean, they hardly produce any good players.
So see, we have talents across, there's no doubt. But what we need is we need to really start at the grassroots. Yeah, we need to strengthen the grassroots. We need to have organized, structured grassroots programs, and there we will find talents. And when we find the talent, we need elite centers, elite player development centers, and that's the possibility can only happen when the clubs really take charge for elite player development, and that is the global structure. Unless the club takes that responsibility, and then the missing part is our competitive structure. The youth competitions are the one of the missing part, and if we can address that, then we will see players coming from all across India, and we will be able to find one or two those stars, those big stars who will be in demand in the world, and that is where we will crack. And India can be the real hub of talent for the world of football, and that's the potential we have. But it's long way to go, because it's hard work. It's people coming together without any agenda. The only agenda should be how to grow football. And if we have that agenda, we have that passion. If we can work as one team, we can crack it, and we can tell the world that India is the place to be there, be for the growth of world football.
And future of women football in India?
Yeah, I think it's very bright because the many girls are playing football now. We need to encourage them, and now the league is getting better. And what we need is more girls to play at the grassroots level, and more centers for them to develop as elite players. And we have to continuously encourage them, give more opportunities, exposure, and we can see that our girls doing much better what we are doing right now, because our girls have much bigger potential in football.
Shaji, final question, final observation. What do you think is the solution to this federation structure? Because the state level federations, they're finally voting the president, and it's all politicization, wherein the real stakeholders, knowledge or the torch bearers of football, the people from the football fraternity, the experts of football, professionals like Mr. Bhaijang Bhutia, like yourself, these people, I'm sure, are not competent enough to win against politicians, who drive the state. So what is the solution to this for making AIFF a professional body, just like the IOA is now shaping up?
No, I think, it is about awareness. It is about the purpose. It is about, taking the right decision for the game. Yeah, I think the democratic setup is there, and it is the choices one makes. So therefore, when one makes choices, we need to be very sure whom we are, selecting or electing in what position, and their competencies, their skill set, their vision, their integrity towards sport. We need to see, and I think that is where our focus should be. And I think we can see better leaders coming in football, and we can bring about a change, because the leadership is key. With the right leader, with the right set of people coming in the board, definitely things will change. And also at the state level, because we need to involve more and more people into the game. When the right people will come, they will ask for their rights, and they will take the right decision. And that is where I am confident that things are going to improve only, and we will be better than what we are today.
Final question, Shaji. Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, who is the best according to you?
No, for me, Messi, no doubt. For me, Messi, I always follow Messi. I always love what he does. And I'm sure he will continue to do as long as he can. He's 36 today. He's in US, and he has changed the landscape of football in US. When he landed there, they're growing very fast, and David Beckham has found the right investment in Messi.
I mean, I really hope one day we wake up, and there is a news on the front page. Lionel Messi made India's head coach.
No, it's whether Messi or somebody good. I know definitely India will have someday the best person in terms of the coach. But yeah, that is where we need everything best. Yeah,
Probably
it's
we
not
need
only about the coach.
We need such landslide decisions to change the face of football. Otherwise, it is always going to be a chapter in history that will keep revisiting every time we speak on this subject. Thank you, Shaji Prabhakaran.
Okay.